Good day, good afternoon, good morning, all of our viewers, whatever time this episode is going to be finding you. So this is Namibia News, the only best channel in Namibia for best news. So you want to make sure that you are subscribed and you are doing your best to be part of this great family. So I don't know how to call it. Maybe say, I saw a person doing a South African YouTuber, so her name is Lelon Global. She called subscribers on her channel like siblings.
Yeah.
So the whole family and stuff like that. So, but so I'm your host. My name is Beatrice.
And I'm Aisha.
Very good. So we are live descending. So this is the only place where we dissect, digest, go deeper into the news, talk about it, give you our views, and that are logical, that are truthful, and begin to give you news that is worth of understanding. So this need to be therapy for you. If you just want to relax and just laugh and get to know what's happening in the country. But that's where we are. So this podcast or this episode is brought to you live by Thriving Cash Loan. So this is a cash loan that is based in Namibia worldwide. So they give loans from little as 500 to 5,000, even beyond that 20, 10K, whatever that you want. So the details are gonna be up on the screen. So if you are broke, you're stranded, especially the time that we are living. But most obviously, so you must be able to qualify your payslip, other stuff. Even some people, they look for new cash loans because they cannot qualify
for the other ones.
Yeah, the other ones, and they are sorry, on red line. So now they are looking for new cash loan places to get money. But you want to make sure that you're gonna qualify. But that's where we are. So we are very much grateful to Thriving Cash Loan. So it's a Namibian owned, black owned, young owned, so guy that is busy running that. So Asia, let's dive into the stories.
Wow. I think we have been literally in this new phase of our country as well, especially when it comes to news and I don't want to call it immorality, but we are at a stage where we are trying to see what the parliamentarians would do better for us.
Yeah.
So, the back and forth that was happening with the ABC community and the parliamentarians is that Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security has decided to opt. They have went for the position of actually being in agreement with the Supreme Court, which decided that the marriages of homosexuals would be recognized, which is to I don't know whether we should call it the disagreement, but whatever, to the churches, because now the churches want the decision to be reconsidered, because not only is it, I think for a lot of us, like we said in previous episodes, it's not only just one thing that is being affected. It's going to be schools, it's going to be, let's say, Ministry of the other Ministry for child welfare. All of these things would literally be affected by this one decision. So I feel like for them it's just a thing of like, it's marriage, who loses whatever. But then when you look at the bigger thing about it, it's the immorality that's going to be in our churches as well as our schools, in the lives of our children. So, but you know what, they are still busy with discussion, although one ministry actually did flinch and agreed to follow
So it's a problem. But I will see what Jerry Kanjo's position is going to be like. I think Jerry Kanjo is the only guy that is very much adamant to say, we did not go fight
for this nonsense.
Type of stuff, So, but I think it's very tricky. But for me, I believe that most of these rules in our constitution, they were made, but there's a lot of loopholes, in between. And I think at some point, certain things need to be reviewed to the modern time that we are busy living in. Those codes. I was even thinking today, you felt like many people who benefit on civil cases. It is wealthy people. Let me say, I owe you money. Maybe let me say 2,000-3,000. I mean, for someone that doesn't have much, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
So then now, if I can't pay you, you go open up a case, they will refer it as a civil matter. So seeing a lawyer, roughly for consultation only, you are paying like maybe close to plus minus 600, just for you to book time with the guy. Then he's gonna charge you what his legal fee is gonna be like to present you in court. So, and at the end of the day, what you spend on legal fees
is more.
You know what I'm trying to say? So then now they need to come up with rules to say we need to revise some of those rules and some of those laws that they can fit the common ordinary person.
Yeah.
A person is on $1 million. It's very easy for him to pump in 20,000 in a legal suit because the amount of money is more, and he's already in the position to pay for legal fees. But a common ordinary person, if I go today, they go to court, so and so stole my goat, and they did that stuff. But I mean, I need to pay like 15 grand in a lawsuit over a goat, and I pump in so much money over a goat that is maybe costing me like 1,400.
Maybe even a goat that was already eaten. So
it is those minor stuff. Somebody can't pay you, they break into your house and all type of stuff. So they need to come to a place whereby rules must be able to be revised to a place whereby it suits us today.
Even with, if you go and look at our constitution and the laws and things that are in place, you would literally see that there is not a very substantial thing to say like homosexuality is not legal in Namibia. There is a sodomy law that, when these people who are smart reading, you also see that there are things that actually, there's a huge loophole. So I think that's also one of the reasons why this thing was considered even.
Because to me the whole thing is that when you see court proceedings, those people look like they are busy smiling and just talking and making jokes over a murder case or whatever thing is. But when you sit down and realize that what's been passed there means life and death for a person, then you begin to realize so deep. You know what I'm say? And you realize now sodomy for us is unlawful, But then now you realize that so now you need to change, or you need to, unless sodomy becomes a different law, in order to be able to incorporate homosexuality, or if sodomy is not, because it's also, you can't also do away with it because you need to be there as a rule, But now the thing is that now, just like we had in the other instance of the pastor and the guy, now if things goes wrong, it's just like rape. A guy has consensual sex with this person, and later on, if whatsoever they have agreed, doesn't materialize, then the person stands up and say the person raped me. Comes down and say. So all of this type of stuff just makes life very, very, very difficult.
I think for the most part, we've seen with our legal system, especially in the case of Shannon and stuff like that, although these siblings they were sentenced to 6 and 8 years.
The sentencing took place.
I think it was the 14th. But it's just based upon obstruction of justice, nothing else, because I think because even the years that they were given is because of how the public acted on it, because people were like, even though it wasn't considered murder in the case of the court and all of the proceedings, it is still a life that was lost because of two people that actually lied. So I think mostly the years that were given were because of how the public acted on it.
For me, I feel like, man, if I was the judges and I had the last say, because for me, man, the way I think of, because it is destroying for the family, and it's also destroying for the ones that got sentenced, because for the family, I feel like it's unfair for 6 to 8 years, but then now for them, it's also, it plays on their mind, because you do not know when the 6 years or while you are still in prison, this people can actually appeal on the judgment. Then the 6 years can turn to 20 or it can turn to 30.
Yeah, a lot of times. Yeah, on that case of our legal system, the police which is crazy. I don't want to laugh, guys, but the police are apologizing to the owner of the Big Car Wash Police. I think it's around it, somewhere there, the single quarters. I think it was beginning of this week when they issued a thing of saying that the person that was killed, his name is Brave Kavari, a 49-year-old. He was killed at I think it was between Biggs and Single Quarters. He got into a fight with somebody and was stabbed to death. So now the police report stated that the guy was killed at Biggs car wash, which made the owner angry because he was starting to lose business. And he was like, I want an apology because the guy wasn't killed here. He was killed between the two places, not at my place. Which to me is fascinating because I know what Biggs car wash is and how crazy Single Quarters can sometimes get. But you see a 49-year-old man stabbed to death is like...
it's very crazy, man. And the thing is that people need to be at a place whereby, I mean, when you're 49, now you want to be more relaxed. Less outgoing, a family guy, indoors, and stuff like that. So now if you're on the street and it's another thing if somebody can fight you at your house. It's very unlikely that somebody will just come and want to fight you at home and stuff like that. But it's sad. The incident that happened at our car wash, so the lady's car that got reversed by this individual. Now that person, that client, posted that very thing on her status and said, some car wash owners are just trash. I just saw that thing and I just laughed. I didn't even comment and stuff like. Maybe she was making sure that I get to see. Just put very, very, very hard on the state that some car wash owners are just trash and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness.
But because the thing is that, man, in the world of business, it's just like when you are in court, anything that you allow has a ripple effect on your image, your character, and your business and your future. So that's why I'm very much in concurrent with what the guy has done, because if he just left it like that, there are some people, all they saw was the article of the police reporting the guy died at the car wash. They're not going to be people who are going to hear that the police actually gave an apology that the person was dead, and that thing affects him, so you can't really agree. Now this incident and this client was telling me, no, do you remember the child that died in Grootfontein at the daycare? Now the school need to be held reliable. I said, no, you can't hold us reliable for that guy's stuff. We had an agreement from the beginning in terms of how we're gonna do our business, But it's tricky for someone who doesn't, for someone who's not in business. They don't really understand that.
They just see you as emotional.
You get what I'm saying? Like you don't just care. The guy, she texted me a long text. Yeah, you know what? Even if you had an agreement with the guy, but I expected you to man up and be a man and stand in for the guy. I said, no, to me, I'm willing to assist you in any way you can to recover your money from the guy, but I can't do anything else apart from that, And it feels very much sad, Gamtan said, but there's no other way, because if you say yes, that thing affects. Now you maybe need to pay like 50,000 or 40,000, 30, 20,000 on a damage caused by somebody else. If that guy has to keep quiet and say the person got stabbed at my place, he's maybe losing business. Only he knows the amount.
Because people are not going to come to your place, and this is even if it's just the bar and stuff like this. This is somebody's in a car wash, right? It's somebody's livelihood. We do not know what happens, how these people are surviving. So we need to get the whole entire story before because like you said, a lot of people will see like, Biggs car wash, somebody was buried there. Then people are like, I used to wash my car there.
Let me go somewhere else.
And now look at people that are even regular customers, for example, contractual customers that come there. Now you're putting, it's not only the business's reputation that is in danger, it's the person, it's the owner's reputation that also becomes
so it becomes a problem. And I think, man, to a certain extent, those are sort of loopholes in the judiciary system that is just not just working for everybody, for a common ordinary person. And it means like if you have to sue the police for that statement, it's like it's gonna take years for you to get money, but it's crazy.
The police were just like, okay, we apologize, it was wrong of us. Because you guys were at the scene and the guy did not die inside of the other guy's yard. The other news, guys, is that Nedbank decided on focusing on financing the
SMEs. I saw that thing, man. I saw that thing.
They are giving out loan schemes that are going to be from 10,000, 50,000 to 10 million. from
10 million.
50,000.
I think we need to take the podcast thing and say
I think so. Because
that's a lot of money, man.
They have a new guy who is now the director of SMEs and stuff like that, Sam Ikela. And he was talking about it's about time that Namibia starts seeing business ventures as something that is profitable
and to boost the economy. You know, for me, the whole problem in Asia is that what's killing us is not that there's no opportunities.
Yeah.
What's killing us is the complications that are in between to get to the opportunity. That's what the whole problem.
Actually, it's so much contractual things. Because it's so nice when they tell you like we can give you $50,000 to $10 million, like 10 million, and then you're like yes, but when you go and read, you're like really. You're actually ripping me off.
I'm trying to say, it's a problem. I don't know if you saw that thing for they were having this summit in is it France? Yes, where some African countries were part of the summit and all type of stuff. So I think the guy from Zambia, South Africa, where Ramaphosa was saying for all of these years we've been beggars, like. During the COVID season, during the COVID season, they couldn't get masks and they were just begging, and all type of stuff, and the prices were inflated and stuff like that. Then the president of Kenya, that guy is very brilliant, this man guy. So the guy was telling them they need to be part of the sort of like the World Bank where they are busy borrowing money, so that they can revise some of the laws and implement laws that suit everybody.
Which is fascinating to me that African countries are not part of the World Bank.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's a World Bank?
Yeah, because you are busy borrowing money from there, but you don't have any powers to regulate and stuff like that. So now they're saying, like Kenya itself, on an annual basis, they have to pay like $5 billion.
And that is US dollars.
Yes, I think maybe US or India. So imagine, so $5 billion, and now the guy is saying, what will a country be like if we were given a grace period and we take that money to invest in our own country?
Yeah.
Then what he has discovered is that African countries pay 8 times more compared to other countries. So meaning that the world superpowers and all type of stuff, they have their own rate of interest that they need to pay on their loans than African countries, because the only strategy is to keep you in debt.
Exactly.
Because imagine like if you have to pay 8 times more, when are you gonna be free? And in between, let me say, if you pay the loan maybe roughly a quarter or in half, then you're eligible to take another loan.
Which keeps you in the cycle.
You know what I'm trying to say? Then you realize that we are in the mess that we are in today. Like I don't want to think about it, but I know it's a reality. If our president were just open to say, how much do we owe?
Yeah.
We'll be very shocked. How much do we owe as a country?
The general, like the whole amount.
You know what I'm saying? So it might even be that we are owing like maybe 300 billion.
I think we owe a lot of money because it's also generational. Like it's like that thing we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
The air that would be It's like it's not your house.
Yeah.
But now you have to pay the debt.
This is stuff. So these debts are coming from the other presidents. Then you take over. Then when a new guy comes, want to have new implementations and stuff like that, borrow money. Then now you find like a 10 billion got left by this guy. He didn't finish paying it off. This other guy left 5. The other one left 20. You put all those staples together, you are busy scratching. Now sometimes we wonder, why does it look like in some other people's term they are not doing as well as others? But you realize sometimes it's the issue of debt, you know. And now when we are at a place whereby development-wise in our country is just dead. I think maybe for the past 10 years, the only thing they've done, maybe it's just upgrading the road, you know, between Vindug and Okahanja. That's the only thing that you can say major, you know, when it comes to infrastructures. And the SWAPO big building.
That was what I was in the stadium of Namibia. When I saw that building, I was like, what are we doing?
And the thing is that...
And a gold statue.
Yeah, how do you do that? And the thing is that, for me what is very funny is that how many people, how many staff members that SWAPO have that's gonna unable to sit everybody in that office. It's not like SWAPO has staff members that are gonna be stuck in that office. Now think about it. Then now it's those offices are even more than that. If you have to look at the wards in Katutura or Central, because it's almost the same, the same size. Then how many people have been housed by the state hospitals? It's almost the same that Swapo building is able to house.
What is also fascinating for me is that I was seeing that they...
But it's just, to me, that's just in your face type of, we don't care, you can do whatever that you want to do.
Why do you want the elevator in a building? Like, I'm thinking to myself, it's not like
but
people...
some things, they pain me, man. I just get very angry.
It's not like even people are going to go be able to go and
not everybody, I mean, not... Let me say, like at the stage where we are now, we in the years to come, we're going to go into coalition governments. So you find like maybe 65% of the general population of Namibia are not going to be Swapos.
Exactly.
So not everybody is going to have access to that office.
And now it's going to be it's the same thing they did with, what is the other place? There was this place that they were making... why did I forget? But it's this huge building they created for... It was a manufacturing thing that they created. I forgot the name of it. And now it's open there. It's just standing there. Ramatex is just standing there. And I'm like, look at the money that you put into this nonsensical thing. From the beginning, people were telling you this is a nonsensical thing. This thing is just literally standing there.
These people don't know what they're busy doing, and let me tell you what happened. I was talking to somebody that works in the municipality here in Kidmans. The NDC building here, it's almost, I mean, the only people that are there, maybe people that are doing salon, the printing and stuff. So the bar building is long closed because there's no water. So now they are busy constructing a land for Namibia fish consumption. So they're gonna move. Literally, when they move out, majority of people that went there for fish, it's gonna end. Then I was asking this person now, but why do you guys have to construct the staircase that are at the fire brigade? You know what I'm saying? And amazing enough, this person gave me and for me, I fail to understand. It's people with papers.
It's people that have studied.
You know what I'm saying? The person tells me, no, after completing the building, they realize there's too much sand coming from the other side, so they need to build a wall around the building.
They did not realize it.
How do you spend? And sometimes it's amazing that how much amount of money was pumped into that building, and was pumped into the building, and now you need to create another separate budget just to keep the thing going. So now the thing is finished, but now they're saying they need at least like to also construct a wall around every store so they can be like private, like almost the ones that are at Venue, when you go on the other side of the bus, or sort of like they can just be like even a dividing wall and stuff like that.
They didn't think about it.
They didn't think about all type of stuff. Then you wonder now you have this thing that is not operating. Then on the other side, you construct a so-called development only to realize that it's a failure.
It's crazy.
So to me, man, for me it's like, but that's why I say, if there's nothing in the head,
it's a problem.
Not amount of you can even have the biggest position in the land being the president. There's nothing that you'll be able to do. That's what I'm saying. So it's just too crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, if these people were smart enough, they could start outsourcing. Even let me say, if you want like a private advisor, then you just get somebody as you appoint them, because I saw there was an issue in Karasburg, by the way, whereby the SWAPO, they're busy opposing the advisor to the CEO and to the mayor, because it's an Albion guy. They said the vacancy or the position they've created is not in the constitution of the municipality. So now they're fighting those things. They want to fire the guy, But I think that would be very great, because you can create some of these vacancies within the government that doesn't need any qualification but pure talent. The person who's talented and capacited in certain areas, then they can fill up those positions and they can be of a great contributing factor. Now you sit of people with great potential, no paper, and they end up dying and not utilize their potential to anything. It's crazy. The same thing with soccer. You find many good people that can play sports, no investment into soccer. A person is reaching 30, 40, never played any international sport, And if you look to Messi now at the age of 36, the demands herself Chloe Clark. And the guy is a multi-millionaire.
The guy literally has won every single soccer thing that you can win. I was talking to my little cousin today, and I'm telling him, I don't get why he still wants to play soccer. I mean, there's nothing he can win, at all. Like there's nothing he can win that he hasn't won already.
Yeah. And I think the guy is saying, the busy asking him, I think the guy has the highest assist or something so far. The guy said, when I was young, at a stage of my life, I concentrated on individual trophies and awards. But now what concerns me the most is collectives. Then you realize that the guy is sort of like, I've been the best player in the club. I don't care. I won how many Ballon d'Ors. I think even Messi at this stage, even if he doesn't become the world best player, it's sort of like,
he literally won everything.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like he went now to this team of David Beckham, and I think the only thing that motivated him at that stage is just money. You know what I'm saying? Just he keeps on playing and he keeps on earning as well.
Yeah. The NSA, Namibian Statistics Agency, has extended the deadline. You know, a lot of people were complaining about rural infrastructure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now to me, I was thinking, because people are complaining about the online application thing again. But now if you look at 60,000 applications lying there in your office for 13,000 positions, do you genuinely, as a grown person, want to tell me that those people will look through all of those things? And I think with the online,
then you make again the effort to go on, on a regional basis, to go down to the grassroots, to be able to assist people that can't access online applications. Then you want to help them. So meaning that 60 can literally jump to even 90 to 100,000 people.
Which is crazy to me, because I was thinking the other day, when people were complaining about why are we taking technology and stuff like that, now I'm thinking, who in their right mind do you want to sit there and look through all of those applications? With the online thing, what helps most of it is that it's going to push out the people that are not qualified for the position, instead of you taking the papers and going through. It also helps you as the individual not to literally spend a lot of money. That means your documents get scanned, which means you have the other paper things. It doesn't go anywhere. You can apply for another position.
Yeah, but it's all in all crazy, But for me, what the frustration that is there is that I think some people who don't really take time and think about certain stuff, certain things won't pain you as much. But if you have to think like. We're having this discussion the previous day whereby we're saying, when was the last time they held census?
Yeah.
It was like maybe 2011. So then you think about, because the reason for taking census can be various type of reasons, but one of it is to be able to realize at what stage is the population, and is what we are offering as a government sufficient enough for the general population that is there. If you have to look in Caitmans for the past 10 years, we don't have a new school.
At all.
Nothing. No new school, no new clinic, no new police station, no substation, no nothing. Then the whole reality is that the population is not standing at one position; it's busy growing, but the infrastructures, whether the services and whatsoever that need to be there, it's so less. Sometimes you also even think that even let me say, for example, the stuff like the sewer lines. Some of the sewer lines have been lying there for the longest time, maybe for 30 years.
It could be.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you have issues of potholes, you have issues of sewer problems, you have issues of so many things, because the people who are using those services are so a lot. Even if you have to look at the end of the month, you have like maybe let me say like in Caitmans, how many FNB ATMs do we got? 1, 2, I think only 2 that you get. The mall. I'm gonna say literally that's it. Then you find like maybe the population of Caitmans maybe it's like I don't know, I'll be lying. Maybe let's say 80,000 people, for example. Then now you want to take, let me say, 30,000 of those people at the end of the month withdrawing money. So now people have to stand in long queues. Some people who can literally go stand in the line in the middle of the night to withdraw money, and most of them are occasional people because they want to take their, you know what I'm saying? But you realize that the reason to take census is baseless if you are not using those statistics to do something about it. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm thinking like a place like Kathmandu should not and must not suffer from sanitation problems.
Yeah.
When we go to places like Overdose and stuff like that, it's appalling to have a government that doesn't care. Like when they're doing when they start voting, when they are campaigning, they are everywhere. You can literally see the swab or the LBM, the PTM, the NUTO. I don't know if they're still in existence, but you can see all of these people. They have no problem with going to Namibia and telling these people to vote for them to change these things. But you still see.
But for the whole 5 years, almost like here in Kelmas, literally nothing was done in Eleni. Not even one single thing. The same way it was 5 years back is what it is now in the current moment.
And unfortunately to say it will be for the same thing.
Yeah. I think these guys, they are fighting just to get in power until Jesus Christ comes back. And that's the only thing they are waiting for. Because there's nothing, it's not the same because, and I think also to a certain extent, and that's the bad part about democracy. Democracy is that as long as you are voting, even if in the whole entire nation, you can only have 10 people that votes, 7 people for SWAPO, 1 person for LPM, 1 person for what, it's still been, it has been broken down into percentage. Then you'll hear SWAPO has won 80% majority. Even if it's just 10, that's the best thing about democracy, you know? And it's like, whether people say we're not going to the polls, whosoever wins, goes and go vote, it begins to become the reality about who's winning and who's losing. And some of the things, man, if we had the power, man, to just be able to demolish some of those things and say, okay, let's just have, instead of having various type of parties, let's just have people that are going to be in the parliament, not from any political, because that's what a parliament is supposed to be like. People that don't fight against one another, but they are there joining their minds together. That's why it's a parliament of Namibia, not a parliament of political parties. You know what I'm saying? And once you go in, now you find like a person brings out a good proposal to say, we need to build 2 schools in Kathmandu. Then the other one says, no, if these guys, they are running Kathmandu, if they build 2 schools, they're gonna win, strengthen their majority with the people on the ground. So let's block it. For me, that's business. Don't know what I'm saying? So the statistic thing, man, is like it's for me it's dumb, it's stupid. You can't have those type of stuff like that. And
my thing is also like when kids are born, are we technically not taking the statistics?
You know what I'm saying? And the other thing is that now you what is that I wanted to say? The other thing now is that you find like with something came on my mind right now. The other thing that is there, yes, you find like many people now, their entry point is doing education and doing nursing. So in the next 2 years,
it's gonna be blocked.
Very congested. So now the only way to balance the equation is to say, okay, as the population is busy growing and the demand is growing, let's also create a market for this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You find like there in the north, people who are still having schools under a tree or under a shade. You know what I'm saying? That's where you're supposed to be building schools. Then you enable the capacity of employees to also grow. You know what I'm saying? You are creating jobs. But now the population is staggering, but it can't hold. The services cannot hold the people.
Exactly.
Alright, but if it's Dololo inside there, it's like I don't need to have a PhD to be logical. It's like governors just need to think. If people are busy, if people are becoming a lot, same applies like if you are 5 people staying in a house, then over the next 2-3 years, 3 kids have been born. Not even 3 kids added to the house. Just as long as time is busy going by and the responsibilities are changing, that tells you the amount of food consumption becomes more.
Exactly.
It's the same thing like I think the best time electricity need to be in winter time.
I don't know why they don't do that.
But I saw now they said that the fuel prices are going to remain the same, they're going to be unchanged. But you realize that the time that the electricity is being highly used, it is during winter time. Then to be a smart government is to say, let's decrease it at the time where it's mostly used. But now, because of profit, they make a lot of money.
everybody was. It's a profit world. There was like one of the things that fascinates me about democracy literally is that everybody has an opinion. Even if you're stupid, you can just
you just have to say something. I'm trying to say. So it's literally very frustrating for me.
Okay, my last story is the 11-year-old Christopher Boyce that committed suicide due to bullying. I think when we were talking the other day, over the last 7 years, bullying has literally fluctuated in every situation. We see it on media, we see it physically more, we see it emotionally more. Like, people are just out here to tell people they are worth nothing.
Yeah. For me, the thing is that, if I have to be honest with you, in a general sense, is that there's no effort for safety.
Literally.
Nothing. You can. I was thinking, it's just that I'm too busy most of the time. I was thinking, like when school reopens, we need to have like a patrol early in the morning, 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock when kids are going to school, and 1 o'clock. These kids literally get to walk in the road. So that tells you that an accident can imminent at any given time, and somebody dies. When somebody loses their life, then only people's eyes get open.
And that particular time, I always tell people, like, it takes 6 months. Like, it literally takes 6 months for people to forget about something.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, with his death, a lot of parents came out about the bullying that takes place in school. People were literally like giving back the letters and all of the voice notes that came out of recording the principal, that he could not do anything about it. I mean, the first thing we tell a kid as teachers is that if somebody bullies you, you have to go report it to an adult.
Yeah.
And when the adult tells the kid, like, there's nothing we can do about it, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, the kid feels very helpless. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I cannot help myself already, and I'm coming to you for help. It's the same thing. Somebody was telling me yesterday, a guy that works at ShopRite, at a spa, they knock off like at 7:30, so the guy was busy working until a town hotel. Then he saw two guys. Then he stood there because it's sort of like it's busy.
Yeah.
So then he was looking for a cab. He couldn't get a cab. Then he decided just to walk. So the side of the municipality office there nearby the cemetery. So 7 guys attacked him. Luckily enough, they didn't really harm him, but they took like 150. They didn't get the phone, but they had the phone. It's all certain stuff to be able to realize that people have the faith, they believe they can commit crime at any given time and go away with it.
And it's done there.
I'm trying to say, there's nothing that is absolutely done to protect the safety of people. Yeah. A person's house sometimes you think about the less patrols that have been done. The only time that we saw major patrols was just during COVID time, when people are being chased to go. I'm trying to say, but now, kids are not being. I mean, what would it cost you to go around schools to conscientize kids not to walk in the road? Nothing. Yeah. What will it cost you to go in schools and sort of like we don't have to lose a life first to conscientize society. Exactly. To simply say, go around the schools, talk about bullying, talk about teenage pregnancy, talk about all this other stuff way before something goes out of hand. But now these people, that's what I'm saying. For me, the sad part about it, we live with leaders who literally do not care with the people that they're busy leading. And that's a painful part.
One of the things about the COVID thing was that we saw the crime rates literally go down.
Yeah.
Like, we saw, even with the Easter, like, Easter is one of the times in Namibia that so many accidents happen because so many people are drunk.
Yeah.
But when we saw the sales of alcohol being limited, there were literally no accidents.
Yeah.
It's like, you do not see that. Certain times it's like you are being showed a way to start doing things. And even now, we can go to the police station, there are hundreds of them doing nothing. Instead of just like driving around and seeing who is in problems.
So it's a problem, and there's those type of stuff whereby at the space that we like, one of the coolest countries in the world is Dubai.
Yeah.
Dubai, you can
Dubai and Romania.
Yeah, come down and say the level of crime is very, very, very less.
They say in Africa we have Botswana as well.
They say like even in Dubai you can't just smoke or be carrying around cocaine or drugs and stuff like that. So you can be sentenced to prison. I think what is the other place? was Thailand. Thailand, you get executed if you are found in drugs.
Yeah.
You know, so stuff like that. And you begin to realize that the amount of crime reduces if there are safety measures that have been imposed by the government, you know, to impose certain stuff. But you realize we're living in times now whereby people are so confident to do whatever they want to do, and people I can't be living in terror over a 15, 16-year-old person.
Exactly.
You know, then you retaliate to do something, then you know what, it's murder, then I need to be in and out of courts because you've killed somebody you didn't go look for the problem. The problem came looking for you.
Anyway, that's
crazy. Okay, let me quickly dive in a couple of stories that I got. Okay, so the first story, the shackle, the money is a problem. So there's this guy, the economy, man, the economy is destroying people. So there's this guy by the name of Petrus. So this guy is
not me, you should say Petrus.
Yeah, Petrus, the other guy from Rundu. So this guy is into betting. So this guy is a teacher by profession and a soccer player and stuff like that. So this guy, I think the highest he won in betting was like I think 76,000 in one bet. So the guy won a lot of money. But you know what, the tables do turn. So now the guy is in Rundu there. So the guy, Kavango East, that's where he is. So the guy's name is Petrus. So this guy now, at the current moment, is very devastated mentally and everything else. So he owns Loan Shark. Is on a hunt for him. He owes them 200,000. You know, so imagine like 200,000. I mean, even if you owe somebody 2,000, it's a lot of money. It's a way to get $2,000 if you don't have it. You know, now you are owing somebody or owing a company 200,000, a company that can, pull out the lawsuit on you, and it's crazy. So, but now this guy is simply saying, I don't know what happened to me, because now the guy, I just started winning 800, 100, 3,000, 5,000, like that. Stop. You know what I'm saying? So the guy now, he feels like he's cursed or something. And the guy says the worst part, like what he feels very bad about the whole situation is that his family never benefited anything. So the guy would just be on a party spree, partying, drinking, all type of stuff, and so forth and so on. So now the guy's sister is saying they are keeping a close eye on the guy because he can do anything to himself. So the guy is suicidal and all that type of stuff, and so forth and so on. So now a whole big man need to be supervised. They need to supervise him like a baby. Where is Petrus? Go check him what he's doing in the room. You know what I'm saying? So they need to follow you everywhere. They need to know you're in the bathroom, you're in the kitchen. You can't go anywhere by yourself. I don't understand. So they need to maybe get a bracelet for the guy. If the guy goes like 10 meters away, the thing start reporting and say, Petrus is not in your range. You can't see him. Anything can happen. And money is a problem.
Especially now.
I say, and there's a guy as well in Binduk, on the good part about betting, the fortunate guy that won 2.4 million at a casino. So this guy won the 2 million at Avani Windu Casino. So the guy won 2.4 million. And it's a lot of money. But you know what the thing about this betting stuff, it's very addictive.
Yeah.
Because I know of a guy here that won like 50 grand. This guy, he literally every single day you see him betting. And I feel like on the long run, you'll end up retaining that 50 that you won. In that every day going to go bet, because now you are not eating. Now it's like, it just gives you maybe like 100, 200, and you feel like, okay, I'm being consoled a little bit. But when you see what you're busy losing on the long run, it's more compared to what you've won from the beginning,
I think Audru is making a lot of money now, because I saw he opened another one next to, there's a cash loan in town in that side of Esme and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw he opened it's like, I always wonder, why is it such a small space? It's just
crazy,
there's weird places that he opens, but then it's like, it's two now in Kitmanzo.
Yeah. So, and the thing is that, the other thing is that they are saying there are about 1,500 betting shops all over the country. So meaning that if they can be opened, that tells you that there is a great market for them, you know, and people are running to those stuff. But the thing is that many people who don't want to take the longer route, they just want to get richer very quickly.
They call it passive income.
It
comes with stress.
That's what they want. Okay, so on the crime of things, in Karasbek, a woman that came from the farm stayed at a family house. This woman was pregnant. She told the boyfriend, I am going to get a baby. So she went, self-delivered, and hid the baby in a luggage. And the only suspicion came when the family noticed that she wasn't pregnant anymore. There's no belly. Then they started finding out, investigating until the thing went to the police. They started interrogating her, because she was bleeding and stuff like that. And they started interrogating her and stuff like that. The woman wouldn't be speaking. They did the house search and they found the baby in a luggage in the house. And it's like certain things, it's just very, very, very devastating. It's like, how do you do something like that? But you know, for me, they know where the whole problem is. It is end results that were never anticipated.
Yeah.
Understand? That's what makes people to go in those type of stuff. And people do not want to listen to say, you know, certain things, just stay away from them if you are not ready for the results that comes afterwards. Because now, when you get a child, it just devastates your whole life. Come down and say, now you didn't want to have a child. Now you're thinking, how do I raise this child? You know, where's the money going to come from? We're already living into deep poverty and stuff like that. And for me, it's amazing. People who have money, they opt to only have 2 children. You know what I'm saying? People with no cash, they want to have 5, 6, 10. I saw a woman in Uganda that she's the most fruitful woman in the whole planet. She has 44 children.
My goodness, my cousin has 10.
You know what I'm saying? 44 children, and they have to go like literally, you know, if you have to see what those kids eat for breakfast, imagine feeding 44, and this woman like had like triplets, twins, what, and the number is escalated. You know, that video is, I think it's on YouTube, either 40 or 44. But
it's a lot.
A lot of kids.
More than 3 is just too much for me.
It's too much. It's too much kids. You know, and people, they need to know that, you know what, this is not the time whereby, you know, people lived on milking the kettles, and you live by milk and you can make pap and all that stuff. I mean, now we are living in an economical era.
But I think the thing with Africa also is that we have this idea that our children are going to feed us.
Yeah.
Which is not right. Your children are not supposed to feed
At least invest maybe in 2 kids, whereby you can give them proper education, a proper life, then you can say they can become an asset, and that's how the family grows. But now you're having 10 kids, most of those are in prison, the other one, you know, doesn't just do anything, is robbing people, doing all that type of stuff. Then later on, what you thought was a theory to wealth, it is just bondage until you go deep down into your grave.
It's crazy.
Understand? So, guys, 2 kids is enough. I think Mr. Hage, before he leaves, he must just set a law like in China. One per couple. You don't want many, just one.
Imagine, look at China now. They have like 1-point-something billion people.
It's crazy.
And they are everywhere now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They are flooding the whole earth.
So so the other story, it comes out from the north, Ohangwena region. They arrested a 40-year-old male suspect who caused the death of his own child on Sunday evening. So the incident happened like at night. They were coming from bars and Shabin. We know when people are drunk and all that other stuff. So the guy started assaulting the girlfriend. So he kicked the woman fell, started beating, kicking. So they literally picked each other up, went home. When the woman removed the kid from the bag, she noticed that the 11-month baby is dead.
Man, that is so sad.
And you know, for me, the sad part about it is that when a person gets sober, they don't even remember what they did. And if you have to listen to the reason of the assault, it's just petty stuff. You're gonna say, why were you looking the other guy like that in the eye? You know, there's those many bad stories.
Yeah, the repercussions of our actions, we need to it doesn't matter whether you were drunk or whatever. The fact remains you murdered somebody that did not deserve it at all.
It's a car that belongs to. It belongs to. So in that funeral car, there was a body. Maybe they were like on their way to a service, or they were going burying. So they ended up in a car accident. Bumped. I think 4 people got injured. 1 person died. And now the guy is like, I'm on my way to bury somebody, and now I already want to cause other stuff.
My goodness.
So it's a little bit real crazy, man, to go through things. And for me, what pains me a lot is a person who you are not anticipating certain things. They just happened, and now you need to bear the consequences of those things the rest of your life. I don't know if you saw this one before I go on to my last story. I know we are a little bit out of time. But I don't know if you saw the story of, it says, a husband, it's on divorce. The husband must share assets with wife who left him 22 years ago.
No, I am very sorry. No, you are not getting money from me. No, you let me.
But it's the same things we are talking about now, about our legal system.
No, we were not in each other's lives for 22 years. Why do you still need to, like, people do not even have conscience anymore.
Yeah,
it's not right. No.
Because now the thing is that everything you buy, whether it's a house, whether it's a car, whether it's everything that is literally in that house,
should be half.
It's need to be half. So meaning that whether it's for a good couple, money is not really a problem in terms of who brings in what. But now in this instance, let me say maybe because the wife was gone for a long time, 22 years. Let me say she only 22 years. The furniture that you bought, maybe now they've already broken, all type of stuff. Not that thing. Now this guy have worked hard for all of this stuff, maintained that house, renovated, all type of stuff. Now it's like you need to share everything because the law says, in community of property, if you are divorcing, the person needs to get 50-50.
No.
So it is a very sad reality, man.
People's children are 22 years old. Like you are not in my life.
You are not in my life. And I tell you, man, there are people whereby they do those things very deliberate because they know there is a loophole in our legal system that can allow me to benefit. Just like in the case of Hakimi, where this person has did all type of stuff because they know, okay, I can benefit and I can make a fortune. I mean, it's a shorter way to wealth. Literally, I don't know. So it's just
one of the most fascinating things. Also, I think the things that are trigger bonding for many couples that I know is that people do not actually get a divorce. They live in the separation phase for so long, and then let's say the husband dies or the wife dies, and now all of those things have to belong to the other person because legally you are not divorced.
And that's where, and our politicians, there are certain things they need to fight for and amend those type of rules and laws into the government. Okay, so the last story, like one of the last one, then we can call it an evening. It is a woman who got killed and burned in Hangwena region. It says the police in the Hangwena region has arrested a 37-year-old man on charges of murder, arson, and defeating the cause of justice. Calling me while I'm online, man. Defeating the cause of justice. So what happened is that this guy found this woman and robbed her of her stuff, and the suspect's body was found covered into grass, and was set on fire, and the person was burned beyond recognition. But for me, man, when you read certain things like that, is that it no longer boggles your mind because we are living in a situation of deep poverty, whereby now a person doesn't have anything to put on the table. So now all they do is that, let me get whoever I can get, distort anything from either steal or do type of stuff. Now you rob a bank, a person is busy fighting back, then later on you take out the knife, stab them, then you realize I've already did the wrong thing first, and the first thing has went wrong. And now you are left with no intention. Now you are busy freaking out and all that stuff. Now it's like, let me just bend them. Maybe in that way I'm not gonna be caught, And that's why our government needs to do something with the unemployment rate, man. Nedbank, please give us some money.
We just need 50,000.
Yeah. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I think we have come to the end of our 5th episode. I don't know, 6 6 episodes, so we really do appreciate you. So I want to encourage you, please do like, subscribe, comment, talk to us in the comment section. We are going to be very much happy to do that. Share it with other people, and we want to grow the community to 1,000 subscribers. So please do that for us. If you do that for us, we are thinking of bringing celebrities on the show. Okay?
Only if you do that.
Only if you can. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers, you can start seeing beautiful and faces of people that can help in any other way, life, business, sports, whatever. Maybe we can get Kristen Boma to tell us how did she become fast.
You should also get your friend here.
Who's that?
I need to come and say so.
Anita snooped me, man. Anita doesn't want to give me the interview. I don't know, maybe she's too busy. Busy making money, and all that stuff. Not the whole thing is that to get people on the podcast. You must tell people, I can give you 2,000 for fuel. Then even when the person is sitting down, they know when I'm finished, there's like 1,000. But those things I'm saying, it's cold, I'm leaving my house, I'm going to be sitting around the podcast, being asked questions about my life, and leave home, and still go drink my tea at the house. I don't have to do that. So we need to maybe have a budget and say, okay, 1,000 is for you, consider the podcast, then you can have a good time. But this podcast was brought to you live by Thriving Cash Loan. So if you want some money and you want to get extra cash, I think also, man, with cash loan, I think maybe because of the idea of cash loan, it has a bad name, but you realize that loans are loans, whether it's cash loan or whether it's from the bank. So you want to dial them and get some cash if you are in need of money. But more than that, we are out.
See you.